Welcome back to Dungeon Master's Corner. Today, the four of us... Right, there's only three of us. Right? Why'd I think four? I mean, there's only ever been two, right? What was I saying? Oh, it doesn't matter. Welcome to Dungeon Master's Corner, and here we go.
Alright, how we got here. Or how do we get here? However we want to title this.
How did we even get here?
So I had been watching a lot of videos, specifically on the YouTube channel All Things D&D, about the False Hydra, and I really wanted to give it a try. This is back in the Princes of the Apocalypse campaign, which I have talked about previously, and by this point, my characters had gotten really powerful. I think they were like level 14 or 15 at this point, and there wasn't really much I could throw at them that really gave a challenge anymore. So I decided to pull back from the normal hack and slash kind of dungeon delve that Princes was, and give them something that they needed to really get in there and investigate. And here to help me talk about it today is our very own Nicole.
Hi, I played the Desert Elf Wizard Menelman.
And Matt.
I was playing the half-orc fighter Thok.
So this was an interesting one for you guys.
Interesting is a good word for it, yeah.
Yeah, I would say that.
Well, anyone who knows you, Nicole, or knows anything about your tasks during the game, knows that you are very much our note taker. Without you, we would be lost.
I take these insane notes. I think for Prince of the Apocalypse, I ended up with like 4 notebooks worth. 4 or 5, somewhere in there.
So how did that go with this particular adventure?
I honestly felt like I was going to lose my mind. Because when we started our investigation, there was a lot of conflicting info, and I'm trying to keep track of, okay, there's these new NPCs, they're connected to this, they know this, wait, you're changing your story and we're still in the same conversation. Like, there was records of there being a mayor in the town, but they're saying, oh, we've never had a mayor, but there's a mayoral house over there. Why is that there? We've never had a mayor. What? Oh, I was married before. Oh, I don't have a husband. What are you talking about? I'm sorry, what?
Why are all these women's clothes in your house? I don't know. Don't you have a wife? Nah, I've never been married.
Or like, I had a sister. My sister's name was this. And okay, so write down the name. That's the sister's name. No, my sister's name is actually this. But you said it was this. No, I don't even know that person. That person, what are you talking about?
She never existed.
Mm-hmm.
What sister? I don't have a sister.
Why was that? Did, he have 2 sisters by any chance?
There were 6 siblings.
Because...
There were 6 of them.
Like, the name just kind of, popped into his head, and
yeah,
then
he remembered the name for, all of a second, said it by accident, more out of habit than anything, and then was like, what are you talking about? I don't have that sister.
So it was very, my notes ended up becoming very, conspiracy board, what is going on? What? How? Why is this... Why are people confused? What's going on?
And you guys weren't immune to the effects either. You had no memory of how you got there. You had no memory of how long you'd been there. And then one of my particular favorite moments was in the Mango Grove. This one was with you, Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you had gone with Henry to investigate, and I actually have in my notes that you lost Henry.
Okay, yeah, well...
You're a bad father.
Look, if we remember anything about Henry, then yes, I lost him. Not necessarily by accident.
So, just a little background here. There was a mango grove that was being farmed by, I believe it was a group of gnomes, and they had invented these little machines that would help pick the mangoes faster because there were only a couple of them, and it was a very big grove. So Henry went off to investigate, and he found in grove number 3, I think it was.
Yeah, the grove that people wouldn't go to because it was abandoned.
Yeah, that part's abandoned. We never go there. But he found a machine meant for picking the mangoes. And there was blood, and it was so suspicious. It was fresh, maybe only a day or a few hours old. So he went back to find you, Thok. And that's when you noticed something he didn't know. Because he came back and his arm was just bleeding.
So, yeah, when I see him and I grabbed his arm, and I'm like, and why did you do this? As I wipe the blood away from his arm, and I see carved into his arm, it says, run. And on his other hand, under his fingernails, is blood, showing he clearly did this to himself.
And he had no memory of it. That was the first his player had heard that he had done this to himself. So I just kept dropping this information on them. And that was a blast for me, let me tell you. It was fun watching you guys panic.
It was a lot of panic.
Especially when you got your first glimpse of it.
Oh yeah. It was, you described it as this gaunt humanoid face that had really pointed teeth, and it had a really long neck, and it just seemed wrong.
Oh, but you're leaving out the best part. You saw it through the window.
Uh-huh.
Its reflection in the window on the second story.
Yeah, when we were in the inn.
Yeah, the inn that they only used the first and second floor. There weren't enough people in the town to warrant the third and fourth. They don't even know why they built the third and fourth. No one goes up there.
Which we investigated there too, and there was like a smashed window and blood. I think that was fresh too.
That was pretty fresh, yeah. But the hero of the story was our dear Thok, because Thok solved the mystery.
So after a while, I sent Brian a private message saying, I take my hands and I cover my ears. At which point I was told, okay, we need to go into a private chat now.
See, what tipped him off for that one, and I hadn't mentioned prior to this, is on my phone, I had playing the Lavender Town music from the original Pokemon Red and Blue. And anytime they were interacting with the Hydra almost directly, I would pause it. And then once they were in the middle of not being able to remember anything, the music was playing again. And Matt, being the brilliant man he is, the brilliant tactician Thok, put two and two together that there's some kind of relation there.
I had the mansion, but when we woke up on the island with no memory, I didn't have that spell prepared, even though I usually did. I had something else prepared that I'd never remembered copying. So it was the DM's way of like making sure that we were in this influence and we would be here for a while until I could get that spell prepared. So at least a day or so.
Mm-hmm.
Because in a pocket dimension, we wouldn't hear it.
That's where you went to plan. When Fox pointed it out, you guys went into the mansion, the magnificent mansion, for those of you at home who don't know, and began to plot their next move. They got their memories back. They realized a few pieces of information, such as who had been with you on that island in the first place.
Yeah, we were staying at an abjuration wizard who was connected to the Blackstaff Tower in Waterdeep. But we were also traveling with Vega, who we hadn't seen in months.
Vega needed help. He called in his old teammates, and he did not survive. This is actually where Vega's story ended. His player had left the game a while back for personal reasons, and it did not seem he would be rejoining us. So rather than have his character become an NPC, I decided to give him a fitting, heroic end fighting for some people that he cared about, and give you guys a little closure at what happened with him.
Fighting for his meal.
Fighting for his meal. I care about you, especially with a little béarnaise sauce. And I really care about you. But this was one of my favorite adventures that I've run with you guys, and the reason being was I had been worried about running higher level campaigns with you, especially after the destructive force that Frederick and Plan B had become for me. You guys, you were like level 17 by the end?
Yeah.
Gods weren't even a threat to you. You took out 2 in a week. Like, Tiamat went down in what, 2 rounds?
Maybe 3?
Yeah, we were pretty powerful at that point.
You were very powerful at that point, and I was actually worried that I was doing a bad job as a DM because I wasn't giving you anything challenging, and, you know, I could throw stuff at you with more hit points, I could throw stuff at you with stronger attacks or more obnoxious abilities. I know Matt, not you, Matt, our other friend Matt, who played the wizard Tick. Tick absolutely loved when things had legendary resistances. He would refer to that as bullshit all the time. So, I guess in conclusion for this one, I realize it doesn't really matter how high level a party gets. You can always give them a threat if you're creative about it, and force them into a situation where maybe their blade isn't going to be any use at first, because this entire, what did this take, 2 sessions?
Yeah, about 2 sessions to
Yeah.
figure out what was going on the island.
Yeah, but once you guys figured it out,
And then the thing went down in a few rounds.
yeah, you guys tore that thing apart. But that fight was not memorable. You guys probably don't remember that fight very well, but those 2 sessions of being on that island and being practically gods and completely powerless, that I think was really, that was the takeaway.
That we remembered.
That you remember.
Mm-hmm.
And that was definitely a story worth remembering in our group.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Dungeon Master's Corner. If you'd like to support us, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/reliably chaotic. The money will either be used for booze or therapy. We're not sure which yet. You can also drop us a line on Twitter at reliably chaotic. We'd love to hear from you.